What is up, guys? Joe here today for Aeterno UK once again, and welcome to the Hockenheim Ring for my first proper race on F1 2014. We're here for a 25% race in the car of Lewis Hamilton today, and we are doing a back to front. Yes, we are going to be starting from 22nd on the grid, and we're going to be one stopping today on lap 7 of 17. So we've got 17 laps of action ahead of us today. Like I say, this is my first race on the game. I've done obviously a few time trials, but this is my first proper Grand Prix mode race. I haven't done any career recording at the moment. That will be coming on Monday if anybody is wondering. But now we are on the grid, revving up to 5 red lights for my first race on F1 2014, and we are away for the back to front in Hockenheim. Shifting up already into 4th gear as our rear tyres are heating up, but we get them back to temperature, and as we plough into turn 1, once again the AI are very, very slow on the first lap, but we try and take advantage of it as that's a Sauber harvesting energy, and we go down the inside, although it probably wasn't the best alternative, or sorry, the best option, because there were a lot of slow cars on the inside, but we're already up to P12, so we've made up 10 places in the first few corners. And now as we're in the slipstream of Danny Kvyat, we're going to maybe try a lunge down the inside, and we do, and we're going to get Kvyat, and as you can see, that's Magnussen and Massa as well, and I have installed the Martini mod for that Williams, but bye-bye, we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon, hopefully. We're already past Massa, and we've got Bottas next. We take a look up the inside, but think better of making a move, and now we're just going to slot in behind Valtteri, and we're already into a point scoring position, and we haven't even finished the first lap, but I'm afraid that was all the action for the first lap, so it was only 12 places. And now on lap 2, we're maybe going to try and move on Bottas. No, we're a bit far back. Oh my word, we've only gone and done it. What a move on Valtteri Bottas that was. And I think we're going to see a replay of that move in half speed. As you can see, we came from so far back, and we managed to clip the apex. We leave Bottas the room on the outside and make that move stick. So then skipping on to lap 4 now, we've got the DRS, and this Mercedes is so OP with the DRS, especially on this circuit. We make a move down the inside of Hulkenberg and Button, and we're already up into P7 as the AI are actually squabbling between each other quite a bit, which is actually good for me because it means that I can take advantage. We take a look down the inside of Magnussen. Once again, we think better of it like we did to Bottas earlier, but we are going to slot in behind the Dane, and now come lap 5, we are still behind Magnussen, and we've got the DRS in fact, as there are 2 DRS straights on this circuit. We've gained so much on him, and all we've got to do is try and line ourselves up for a pass, but we could have done a lot better in doing that, as we're shifting up pretty slowly, as we're revving the engine pretty high at the moment. Full revs, 7th gear, DRS, easy pass on Kevin Magnussen, up to 6th position, and it looks as if our tyres were a little bit cold, but we've set the fastest lap on lap 6, and we're nearly 4 tenths up on that time on lap 7. This Mercedes really is feeling, it's feeling beautiful at the moment, and we're catching up Daniel Ricciardo, shifting up into 8th gear. That Red Bull actually had some pretty decent straight line speed in this race, which was surprising in a way. But we're going to slot in behind Ricciardo, maybe take his slipstream on the way down here now, and we have come through the little kink at turn 6, I want to say, and we think better of the move anyway on Daniel Ricciardo. We're scheduled to be stopping at the end of this lap anyway, and I believe Ricciardo will be stopping on lap 8, seeing as Vettel is the #1 driver, if you like, seeing as yeah, he was the top point scorer in 2013, and that means that he takes priority on the pit stops on this game. So yep, Ricciardo does go on for another tour of the circuit. We decide to make our pit stop as we nearly dump it in the gravel, but we knock it into lean mixture, and as you can see, those tyres are pretty heavily worn. It's the super softs and the softs available this weekend. How's the stop? Oh my word, we've been held so much there, and it's a 4.5 I believe, as we were held for the Force India, but we're back out onto the racetrack now in 11th position, but I shouldn't read too much into that because there's still half the field to pit. We knock it up into standard, and I actually noticed, look at that tyre gauge, that the tyres are already pretty much up to temperature. On many previous Codemasters games, it's taken you a good lap or so to get to grips with the tyres, but no time to dwell on that because the start of lap 9 means that the rest of the cars have pitted. Daniel Ricciardo being one of them, he harvests energy on the way out of the pit lane, which is interesting, but we are knocking it up into rich mixture to try and get after the Australian, and we've got the DRS this lap getting up into 8th gear soon. This is almost like the overdrive gear on this this circuit, and we lunge it up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Very, very fair driving from the Australian. It's good to see the AI sort of leaving you a bit of room, and we take that 5th position. Ricciardo's just not got enough traction to fight with us, and it's actually Nico Rosberg, the next guy up the road. So that's quite surprising as we slide into that corner there. But come lap 10, we've got DRS on Rosberg, but seeing as he's got the same car as us, we're not really making huge inroads onto him. Or are we? No, we do slot in behind him. He is chasing after, I believe it's Kimi Räikkönen. But currently we've got the Mercs 4 and 5 in this race, which is incredibly surprising. And now we go down the inside of Nico Rosberg side by side, but we make the move stick. And now, once again, we're going to have a look at this move in half speed as we throw the Daniel Ricciardo dummy outside to inside. Rosberg went to defend the inside line, then once he swooped to the outside, I went to the inside, and we have completely mugged off Nico Rosberg there for 4th position. But now we've got a podium place to go and get off Kimi Räikkönen, and we run wide onto the drag strip, I believe, at the end of lap 11. Our tyres aren't looking too bad at the moment, but we knock it up into rich mixture as we've got our teammate right behind us, but we have got a Kimi Räikkönen to chase after. We've got some DRS to help us with that, and we think better of a move down the inside, because now what we're going to do is set ourselves up for a move by going pretty shallow into that corner and now really opening the taps as we're only 4 tenths behind Räikkönen. This should be a pretty easy move. We open the DRS, 7th gear, maybe put it into overdrive now, 8th gear, 212 miles an hour I believe we reached there, and now we have got Räikkönen's teammate next up the road, and we've got 5 laps left in this race, so who knows what could happen. And moving on to lap 15 now, we have got Fernando Alonso just ahead of us, less than a second up the road, which means we get the DRS. We're purple through the first sector, and it really is going well at the moment. I've got to say that these are the first laps that I've done at Hockenheim on this game, so it was also just sort of getting to grips with the car, with the handling model, and just everything about it, the gearing. We didn't get him on lap 15, but come lap 16, as we're now optimal on fuel, we make a move on Fernando Alonso. Beautiful move for 2nd place, and we've got 1 lap to chase after that man, the 2010, 11, 12 and 13 world champion. And with just 1 lap to go, we are 1.1 seconds behind Sebastian Vettel. We take a lovely line through that first corner, but seeing as we were so far behind, we don't get the DRS. We're definitely going to get it now on the final opportunity, really, to overtake. And now we are within that 1 second window. Yes, we're 7 tenths, which means that we're going to get the DRS, and we are going to charge up behind that Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel. We're in his slipstream. We're in 8th gear. 215 miles an hour side-by-side action, and wow, we take the lead of this race on the final lap as well. And now all we've got to do is put it into standard and manage to keep the lead for just half a lap. We started in 22nd place at the start. My very first race around here since probably 2012. Yeah, it would have been the 2012 game. Seeing as Nürburgring was in last year's title. I did do an F1 2010 career mode race around there, but obviously that's a completely different handling model, and we have just got less than a sector to go now. It doesn't matter about the split times, we've got our fastest lap, and as we nearly lose it there, we've just got 2 corners to go, and we have looked, oh, just look at that suicidal left front tyre. We come around the final corner to win our first race on F1 2014. Well guys, we've taken our first victory of F1 2014 as Lewis Hamilton from Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso. it was a very, very satisfying race. We were just sort of getting used to the track conditions as the race went on. As we go to the podium now, I'd just like to thank you guys for tuning in. Apologies once again for my voice. I'm really, really losing it, to be honest. Yeah, hopefully I'll be bringing you career mode on Monday. And also later today, I've got a Sochi hot lap, so stick around for that later on. But yeah, Lewis looks happy. I'm happy. I hope you guys are happy. I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.